Hey guys, I'm Kevin Carter with another anime video. In today's video, we're reviewing the second half of Shield Hero Season 1. Now before we start the video, got stuff to see those walls right there. I'm gonna start adding decoration and stuff for anime, you know, bring some flavor into it. And first thing guys, some Konosuba prints. These are pretty popular and I thought they looked good. A lot of people know what they look like. Gonna be here right now. You can't see the wall greatly because it's late and I have to use this like light to light it, but sooner or later. Anyway, Shield Hero. Don't like it? Let's talk about it. And before we get into things I don't like, I do like saying about the stuff I do like, because I like to be positive. Because even for series I hate, such as, say, the Michael Bay Transformers series, which isn't even related to this, I can still find something I like, such as some of the action, which might be cluttered, but I can find enjoyment in it. Or My Hero Academia, I don't like the series at all, but the animation's really good, so I can find enjoyment in it, so it's fine about what I like in this series. And the first thing I like about the series is the Queen. I find the Queen really intimidating because up to this point before she came into the big picture with the fight with the Pope, nothing went done. It was nothing but incompetence with the royal people, I guess you could say, outside of Melty, who we'll talk about later. And it just really annoyed me because how's everyone so stupid, in a sense, I guess is the right word. That doesn't really make sense. That's outrageous. But then she comes in and flips it around. She's like, hey, why do y'all think he can mind control people? That's not what shields do, okay? A husband, why? Daughter, why are you such a pathological liar? And she's not just a mean character, because she doesn't just go like, okay, this is fair, I'll kill my own daughter and husband. No, because she was going to ask Shield Hero to spare her, their lives and maybe take hers, just so she'd not have to watch her daughter and husband get killed. And I think that's a really interesting character, how she knows this is wrong, but she doesn't want to let them die because they're still her family at the end of the day. And I liked it a lot. It makes me like her a lot as a character, and she's a really powerful presence. And she's one of my favorite characters in the show because she really doesn't have that many bad moments, and she's great. Another character I like is Melty a lot. I really like her because she's before the Queen, really, and she's just a nice royalty, and she's a kid who just joins the party. Well, she's not official. She's basically part of Shield Hero's party, and I like that a lot. She's really kind to everybody. She's all cool, all neat. She has her own water powers, which I think is really cool and adds a cool dynamic to the party because we had wind, light, and whatever the shield did at that point in time. I also like her character trait of loving Fiolas, or whatever how you pronounce them, like her mother did. I think that's really neat, and she has a pretty good design. She's a fun character. She has some laughs, and the way she dotes on Naofumi like Raphtalia and Philo did, I think is really organic in a sense and cool. And to put on that, I also really enjoyed the scene where Naofumi saves her from the assassination. I think that's really good. I think it's a really good scene, and I love how the church manipulates the footage to make it look like they're murdering these soldiers in cold blood. I think it's really good, and I love how she sticks up to them, and then how her sister, the person with not a lot of character traits, don't like her at all. She's like a worse version of Azula, tries to kill her little sister. And I think that's really good on how Melty's kind of shook by that. And I just think she's a good character. She's one of my more favorite characters, up there with Naofumi, who is not the best. And we might talk about that later, who knows. Another thing I really enjoy is the comedy. I think the comedy is really strong in the show, especially this moment right here where Raphael's like, oh, I'm calm. I'll calmly murder this man in cold blood. I think the comedy's pretty good in a lot of instances, and the animation just couples with how funny it can be in a lot of areas, and I like that a lot. And last thing I like is this scene in particular. I really enjoy the scene of Motoyasu when he finds out that Malty has been lying to him this whole time and manipulating him. I think that's a really good scene because it shows growth. How he finally did whatever she asked, believed whatever she said, because he thought she was her. He thought she was his friend. And I like that after the trial, he knows that that's not the case, and that he needs to start thinking for himself. And while the show doesn't develop that, I like this scene in particular, especially this shot, as it shows that he has grown as a person. Although all the character development immediately goes out the window with the other heroes who are useless in the show. We'll get to that later. And speaking of the heroes, they're useless. They don't do anything. They're extremely weak, even though their levels are high. And the show doesn't really go into depth with this. And you might think, oh, it's because they don't know how to use their weapon like Naofumi does. But no, they know stuff that he doesn't. It's just they're supposed to be super arrogant. I get that's the point. but they don't grow at all. Even though they're almost killed multiple times or whatnot, they just don't grow, and I find that aggravating because they're static characters, and it sucks, dude. Like, Naofumi should not be as much more powerful as he is than these guys. They should all be on equal footing, especially if they all have gone through multiple dire situations in their own accord. But no, they stay the exact same from episode 1 to episode 25. Exact same. Do not like it. Also do not like how the waves are presented in this show, because yeah, they're quote unquote a big deal, but every time a wave happens, no character with the name dies, and I don't like that. It's really infuriating when Naofumi, Raphtalia, and Philo can fight almost a whole wave by themselves and not die, or how the other 3 heroes can go against the big bad for the wave at that point, immediately get shot, but don't die. It's a lack of tension that just really bugs me, because no one dies. That's one thing about ReZero, how people die on the regular, and while it is going to get reset for the most part, at that moment, it still builds up a lot of tension, and I like that a lot. And this show has none, because no one dies. Another thing I do not like is the Pope, not mainly with his character, but just once again the no tension, how no one dies in this fight. It's just like, oh, I'm the big bad right now, and I'm going to kill you for God. Oh, you beat me, okay, bye guys, and then he dies. It's boring. It's the same song and dance over and over that Dragon Ball may be criticized for, and I have made videos on why it should not. But in this show, a big fight, no one dies, move on. It's aggravating. And once again, the same song and dance, how no one dies, is with the heroes from the other world, which I believe is a really good concept, that this parallel dimensions all experiencing the waves, and whichever dimension fends off the waves themselves will survive while the others die. I think that's a great concept and could really be expanded on in a possible season 2, and probably has been expanded on in the light novels. I do not know. But with the fight with the other heroes, we have same song and dance. They fight, no one dies. Next, it's boring. That we're gonna have all these fights that immediately look good with their good animation, but nothing happens. No one dies. Nothing's learned for the most part outside of our 3 main characters and maybe Melty, and that's just annoying. Quick side note, the music is really strange. Like, I'm not gonna dog on it because the music is immediately good, but sometimes we get jazz music in fight scene, and that's weird. Okay, yeah, like I don't know what to think. Like, oh my god, now Fumi's gonna fight Arc or whatever that guy's name is. What's gonna happen? And then you heard a little saxophone. It's so weird, but I love it. I guess it's one of the pros I can give this show. It's really good. I feel like another pro I give the show, which I 100% gave in the last episode, is that the presentation of the animation, the style, and the animation itself is phenomenal. The animation is so fluid and fast-paced with all the fight scenes. I love it. The style is really simple but good, especially when things get serious and the shading kicks up. It's just really good animation with the phenomenal style. And I wish this type of stuff was on a show that was good. But it's not. It's on this show. And I think the greatest sin of all that this show has committed is the friendship wins. Okay? And if the main character said this, that would be fine, because he's the main character and he's cliched to a sense. No matter what kind of main character you're going to have, he's going to follow some type of architecture. We understand that. But when Motoyasu, the most self-absorbed guy, like in the series practically, says that friendship matters, that we're going to win because we're friends, no. It's aggravating. And when I'm eventually going to read these light novels for some more reviews on YouTube, hopefully when I do better videos, it's going to hurt to read. And I hate it. Overall, I'd say I enjoyed Shield Hero for the most part. The animation really kept me invigorated in the series. While the plot wasn't great, there were some standout episodes. My favorite episode being Raphtalia, and wow, you can say this is predictable, it's formulaic. I thought it gave us the best character development in the show, and that was for Raphtalia to get over her past. And I think that's good. But the whole show's not. Overall, I would just say it's mediocre. The animation was good, the music was good, but the story was not the best. Characters were not the best. Some characters stood out, such as the Queen, Melty, Naofumi, but there's not a lot to be had here. You can go watch the show if you want, or not. I personally would not recommend it unless they come out with Season 2. If Season 2 is a banger, then you can watch the first season. But as of now, give it a pass and go watch Konosuba. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what y'all think about Shield Hero down below. Peace. Don't worry, ReZero is gonna come out on Thursday. It's gonna exist. It's a good book.